A simple sentence consists of only one independent clause. It can stand alone as a sentence. A clause has a subject and a predicate. The subject of a sentence is the person, place, or thing that is performing an action. The predicate tells what happened in a sentence. It is the part of the sentence that contains the verb or verbal phrase, which is a group of words that function as a verb. So we see that a simple sentence has just one independent clause. Here's an example of a simple sentence. John caught a rabbit. John caught a rabbit is an independent clause. John is the subject. He is the one who performs the action. The verb caught is part of the predicate. The predicate tells us what happened in a sentence. John caught a rabbit makes sense on its own as it is a complete sentence. On the other hand, a complex sentence is made up of two clauses, an independent clause and a dependent clause. An independent clause is a complete sentence that can stand on its own. It is a complete thought. A dependent clause, however, isn't a complete sentence, so it can't stand on its own. In other words, it needs to be used together with an independent clause. A dependent clause begins with subordinating conjunctions. These are some examples of subordinating conjunctions. Let's have a look at another example of a simple sentence. The boy ate the pancake. The boy is the subject. He performs the action. Ate the pancake is the predicate. A simple sentence can include modifiers such as adjectives, adverbs, and prepositional phrases to add details. Let's add details to the simple sentence above using modifiers. The hungry boy ate the delicious pancake quickly. Hungry is an adjective that describes the boy. Delicious is an adjective that describes the pancake. Quickly is an adverb that modifies the verb ate. A complex sentence has an independent clause and a dependent clause. The boy ate the pancake because he was hungry. The boy ate the pancake is the independent clause. It is a complete thought. In other words, it can stand alone as it is a complete sentence. Because he was hungry is a dependent clause. It is an incomplete thought. That is to say, it can't stand alone as it is an incomplete sentence. By itself, because he was hungry doesn't make any sense. It is the cause or reason for eating the pancake. Therefore, it has to be connected to the independent clause, which is the effect. A complex sentence is written by using connecting words known as subordinating conjunctions. These words connect the two clauses. The boy ate the pancake because he was hungry. In this case, the connecting word is because. The dependent clause often begins with a connecting word. A complex sentence can also be written in another way. Because the boy was hungry, he ate the pancake. In this example, the sentence starts with a dependent clause, and not an independent clause. This is just another way of writing a complex sentence. A dependent clause is not a complete sentence. We start with a dependent clause, followed by a comma. This comma is important as it shows us where the dependent clause stops and where the independent clause starts. He ate the pancake is an independent clause as it is a complete thought. In both ways of writing the complex sentence, because the boy was hungry, is the cause or reason for him to eat the pancake, which is the effect. This is an example of a complex sentence which combined two ideas to show their cause and effect relationship. Therefore, a sentence is fragmented if a dependent clause is treated as a complete sentence. To fix this error, we can combine it with another sentence to make a complete thought. Or remove the subordinating clause. The boy was hungry is now a complete sentence. However, it is a simple sentence as it consists of just one independent clause. Independent clauses are similar to simple sentences. They make sense on their own and can function as complete sentences. Here is an example of an independent clause. She has a grumpy cat. It contains the subject, she, and the predicate, has a grumpy cat. This is an example of a complete predicate. The complete predicate tells us what the subject does or is. It has the main verb, has, and all other details that describe what is going on. Let's look at another example. The girl ran. This is a simple predicate because it contains the subject and just the main verb. There are no other details. The predicate is just the main verb that tells us what the subject does. Ran is an intransitive verb. In other words, it is a verb that can be used without an object. When we want to know what the subject does or is, we look at the predicate in a sentence. These two simple sentences can stand alone. They are, therefore, independent clauses. We can see that a simple sentence actually contains one independent clause, which is a complete thought. It can stand alone. That's why it is independent. In order to form a complex sentence, we can combine it with a dependent clause. Let's add a dependent clause to our example sentence. Because she was late is a dependent clause. It cannot stand alone. It begins with the subordinating clause, because. It only makes sense when it is combined with the independent clause. Together, they form a complex sentence. In this example, the dependent clause is used to state the reason for the action in the independent clause. It answers the question, why? Subordinating conjunction. Conjunctions are connectors or linking words. Connectors play an important role in English grammar because they help in forming sentences in a sensible way. As connectors, they join words, phrases, clauses as well as sentences. A complex sentence can be formed by joining an independent clause to a dependent clause. Here are some common subordinating conjunctions. After, although, because, even though, unless, when, while. Relative pronouns. Relative pronouns are also used in complex sentences. Who, which, and that are relative pronouns. They can be used effectively to combine two ideas into one sentence. Who is used for describing people. Which is used for describing things. That is used for describing people and things.